We have a person? Wow. Audience.
I wanted to talk to you. I've been thinking about you for several weeks. I wanted to talk to you.
About what?
Getting one of those doggy.
You're talking to Ted about that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing I can do other than pass it along.
We need one on the road to Rhode Island. It's unbelievable. It's like a freeway for
Is it people or dogs?
People.
dogs. Just dogs pooping all over the place.
Yeah, and nobody's picking up. It's
No one's picking up.
Yeah,
That's
we
the
tried
second
with those things.
That's
Yeah,
why
we've done
I
it in
have a
two
little
spots.
fence.
Well, one,
Keeps
two,
them at
three
bay.
spots
That's
here.
what I've been.
My dog is the most unique dog. I can walk him for 2 miles, but you know something? He'll get home and he'll sit by the back door until I let him out so he can poo in the backyard.
He's
Oh,
more
he's
comfortable in his
being
own.
recorded.
He's more he's more comfortable in his own house.
He will not go any other place.
It's like being on vacation.
I know, it's strange you call him to do that way though. You know, like he only
They're
wants to
smarter
go in
than
his
you.
backyard.
okay. I will remind you that we are on the air being filmed.
Right now?
Yep.
Oh, well, now everybody knows about my dog.
Yeah, believe me, we're probably still pouring more
Okay.
wine in glasses and stuff.
I am going to call the meeting to order.
Okay.
And we have present Leslie Roberts,
Pam Logan?
Pam Logan, Phil DeVries, and yours truly. And our first order of the day is to approve the minutes from June 6th, 2019. And I apologize for not having gotten them to you sooner, but I lost my internet.
Motion to approve.
Second motion.
Oh, I said I was gonna send you that stuff. I'm sorry.
All those in favor? Thank you. Um, Public comment on non-agenda items.
That's you, Steve. You're the public. Okay.
No?
No.
Okay. No public comment. This is not the Steve we know and love, is it? Sorry, Steve.
I mean, I'm gonna wait till later on in the presentation.
Okay,
Is that okay?
sure.
Sure, whatever. Makes this
Okay.
interesting. It's your agenda.
Old business. Adoption of procedures, approved materials list, meeting conduct, timeline for ordinance changes, application timeline. I'd like to start with the application timeline because we have thought that it would be kinder to the public to have 2 meetings that are scheduled for hearing COA applications, so that people wouldn't have to wait quite so long. And at the workshop the other night, we sort of fleshed out what the timeline should be. So the Wiscasset HPC How to Obtain a COA, which is what is given to people who need a COA. In the 3rd paragraph,
Here's the flow chart too. If we want to work on other things at
Okay.
the same time.
well, we'll do one at a time, thank you.
Ooh, I love it.
So what I'm proposing is, in the 3rd paragraph, COAs are reviewed on the first and third Thursdays of the month, and completed applications must be received on or before the second Tuesday of the preceding month to be reviewed on the first Thursday, and by the third Tuesday of the preceding month to be reviewed on the third Thursday, to allow for posting and publication if necessary. We've been around and around and around, and I've talked to a lot of people, and our first thing was just basically on the 15th, but it gets slightly confusing.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that maybe this would be straightforward, rather than saying 30 days ahead of time or 15 days ahead of time, and then you get into the whole counting of weekends and holidays and all
Right.
that.
I still prefer, I mean, just on, the most base level, something simpler like 30 days in advance, just because I was watching Phil's face when you were reading this, and does this make sense? Is it clear to you, Phil? Do you feel like this would be confusing?
No, it's just fine.
Okay.
I was gonna motion it, if that's what you wanna do.
If you guys are good with it, I'm good with it.
I'd put that in the form of a motion, if that be adopted.
Okay.
I mean, the idea is to expedite the process.
Mhm.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I have a second motion.
Further discussion?
I'm good.
You go with the wording?
Yeah, I'm good with the
Yeah,
word.
I'm good. I'll make the change.
All those in favor?
I'll make the change and I'll send it to the office for it to be posted on the website.
Okay, and I will print them, I will print,
Okay, and I'll update it on the Facebook page.
Thank you.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, Leslie will update. Would you updating, Leslie?
I'm going to update, I have this document.
Yeah.
This is mine, and I will update it and send a PDF to Kathy, so she can give it to the webmaster to upload to the town website. Pam will load it to Facebook.
Town website. Okay.
So we should
Pam will
probably
do-
change the CO of this flow chart too.
And we'll do Facebook, and I will get by Monday, because that's the earliest I can, I will print a dozen or so and give to the codes enforcement officer.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just a side note, when you send that to Kathy, can you add Phil, have her add Phil onto the website?
Phil needs an email address, is that what you're saying? And add
Yeah.
him?
And he needs to be added.
Oh, he hasn't been added yet?
No.
Do you need a card?
No,
No, it's
Me.
I don't need that.
no, we,
We're getting.
Let's get my email on it.
no,
Oh,
you
no,
have,
you'll get-
No,
you get hold
you'll
of
get an
email.
HPC official
Okay.
email.
HPC.
I mean, I'll keep this just.
Mine
because-
still doesn't work.
Your HPC?
I gotta,
We're gonna have to come over to your house with a glass of wine and show.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
that'll work.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna send that to Kathy, but I think in terms of, I mean, do you want me to also email Kathy and tell her Phil needs to be added and Phil needs an email? Okay,
While you
Or
got
I
it here.
can, either, you know,
I'll do it. All right, just give me a second. And then what she'll do, Phil, is she'll give you a little piece of paper that's got your official HPC email address
Okay.
and your password to log in since it's a town,
Gotcha.
server.
okay. The flow chart looks marvelous, Leslie, thank you. Except you're right.
Except we have to, now we have to
Yeah, so
rewrite.
must be accepted as complete. Now, this brings up another subject. I come in and give the codes enforcement officer my filled out COA, but I have forgotten something.
Mhm.
If it has to be completed by that date, how do we, I'm thinking of providing wiggle room when somebody thought they had gotten everything.
Right.
And they came in on the 15th, gave it to Bruce, Bruce looks at it and says, wait a minute. You didn't include a picture.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Can we still say to that person, okay, get the picture within 24 hours?
I would say that it would have to be at least, did we say that it was like 3 days or something? Because
yeah,
what usually happens is it comes in, Bruce gets it, Kathy gets it, then we oversee it and go, this is missing,
Yeah.
you know? And then we notify them within like 3 days, listen, you gotta get this in.
Yeah. Okay, so,
I mean, if Bruce notices something, I mean, if it's really
Mhm.
just bizarre, then they should have enough
Yeah.
time to, do that.
I think, Susan, if we do that, we're sort of opening up the floodgates to all kinds of unnatural processes when we're already saying we've got 2 times during the month we're gonna be reviewing. And we have to have the completed application either the second Tuesday of the preceding month or the third Thursday of the preceding month. So, I mean, if they miss the first window,
Okay.
they just have to wait a few weeks for the next one. I mean, does that seem unreasonable?
I mean, like, if we notify them within 3 days, like, listen, you just skip this part here. That's, if you can get to us like today or tomorrow, then we'll
Yeah.
still see it.
It's your call. You're the.
no,
I think,
the
well, I mean, I
commission.
think,
Nothing's my call.
well, I mean, I think we could defer to, I don't know, I wanna be flexible and I wanna make sure that we're being,
I mean,
user friendly.
everything on the application is boom, 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 boom. There shouldn't be anything missed.
Yeah.
And we've had several people who have not missed anything.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
And so this is,
Okay, so,
their responsibility is to fill it out properly.
So I'm gonna have to go back and change this and use the same verbiage we've got here, right? I'm gonna change that box to be eligible for review, application must be accepted as complete, blah, 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 blah.
on the first Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, because we have here,
If you can,
in this box,
that's gonna be a tiny font.
Where are we going to, is this, like, so I'm confused because we've got the checklist and the flow chart. Is this just, how do these two, where will they see this one? If this is gonna be on the website, where is this gonna be?
which one? This one?
The flow chart.
Do you need the flow chart? Is it redundant?
I would, if you don't wanna do it, don't worry about it, but if you wanna do it, I'll post it on the Facebook site. Just to give them,
Most of it done, it's not a big deal for me to
Yeah.
make this change, I just wonder where they're both going to live, and if people are gonna look at both of these and go, why am I, like,
This
are they
is
gonna
just,
be confused?
double crossing your T's and dotting your
Okay.
I's, I think. Have I done everything properly? Like, what we were just discussing about, if there's anything right in your little box here, on the right side, on the bottom, if incomplete, HBC will contact applicant within 3 days for additional information.
Okay,
So we already have that written in there.
okay. So I'll make those two changes, no problem.
Because what I like about this and this is there are people who are more technical, more visual.
Okay.
So, what are your thoughts, Tom?
I don't think it would hurt to have it on the website, the flow chart.
Nicely done anyways, it's no skin off my back. All right, I'll make those changes. And when I send out the finals, I'll
If it makes it
copy you
easier
guys.
for somebody.
Okay. With the following change, I'm just writing this.
Thank you.
To be eligible. Must be accepted as complete
Mhm.
on or before. So hopefully they will do it before.
Mhm.
First Tuesday. We're never gonna get that all in there. There's no way we can get all this in there.
Oh, this has a little highly determined. I will shoehorn that stuff in. Get out your good glasses when you read
Okay.
everything.
Well, you could, instead of using third, you could use numerals.
I could, and I may.
Yeah, that's,
That's what I'll do. It's
So
not gonna
you-
save a ton of
You got
space.
second, you got first, you got third, and third. So, save you a little space.
I've also brought a printout of the proposed postcard mailer/mailer.
okay, but that's gonna come under new business, because I don't think I put it on the,
Nice.
It will be nice.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. No. Yes, this is something that Pam and I worked on months ago.
Was I supposed to get you a picture, or did you just picture?
The graphic for that postcard, that map, we're going to need a good resolution file, I think.
just quickly before we get on to that,
Yeah.
the flow chart is complete. I would take and accept a motion to accept the flow chart as complete with the discussed changes.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second your motion.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor? Wonderful. Okay, okay. Okay, on the bottom of this, it says Facebook page location.
TBD, that's because we haven't created the Facebook page yet.
Oh,
So
so that comes off.
that we'll just, are we going to also include Instagram, Pam? So the Instagram account and Facebook page?
Yep.
And I guess we would just say, what, see us on Facebook at Wiscasset Historic Preservation Commission?
Yeah.
Or just say FB, Facebook, or just Facebook, colon,
And Instagram.
Yeah, and Inst.
Facebook is. And then Instagram.
And the Instagram is just Historic Preservation Wiscasset. We have 74 followers.
Hashtag wow. was something you wanted to change on this, on the verbiage, I believe. So, oh, it's bullet point number 3. Refer to the Wiscasset Historic Overlay Map on the HPC website to confirm the property is in the historic district. We're going to specifically send this out now to folks we know are in the historic
Right.
district, right? So I
Right,
should
so if you
actually-
take that out, that gives you room for the Facebook and,
True. Okay. Is there anything else we need to add?
I don't think so.
I just had a suggestion.
Okay.
Yes.
On the 4th bullet, it says contact Wiscasset HPC. Do you think that should be spelled out HPC,
Mhm.
since it's not anywhere else?
Ooh,
Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Good
yeah.
point.
Nice.
Nice catch.
I would just put that in just to cover those bases. And I would use capital letters, Historic Preservation Commission
Okay.
would be
I can
more
do that.
tolerable.
Easy, easy peasy.
That was all I saw.
Okay.
So
I'm
now,
going to leave a vote on this till the next meeting.
you're going to take
Okay.
this till then?
Not table it, but just read all the correct, there were so many corrections on this.
Did you say that you had thought about how we were going to pay for postage for this?
Yes,
Okay, good. All right, so we'll talk about it next week, or do you want to talk about it now?
it's not on our agenda exactly.
Okay.
Um,
We can wait until the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, we've got the procedures covered with this. Timeline for ordinance changes.
I did get that. You guys talked about that? It was like 100 days or something.
It is. John had said first it was April, whatever. It's 100 days before the town meeting. What I would like to do is assign each of us a section.
Right, you had said that last year.
Yeah, but I hadn't gotten further because I wanted Phil to be in on this. And I have the, actually, I need your, no, I've got it. Does anyone have a particular section they would be interested in? Like
Sections.
10.2, for instance, is definitions. And there are some that I think we should add to. There were some that the Ordinance Review Committee wanted us to remove because there are not, they don't appear in the body of the ordinance. However, I think they will be as we go forward with the, what's the word I'm looking for? Changes. Those will, and there were also some definitions from the state that we should consider putting in.
Okay. Susan, what happened to the changes? Are we going to be working from the document that was edited last year by Gordon and the team?
Yes, and I've got that. And as soon as everybody tells me what they'd like to play with, I will send them the highlighted
Okay.
copies.
I have no preference, I'll take whatever. I don't I feel a little awkward editing an ordinance. Don't really know, but you know,
Well,
Just to review it and see if we need
make sure
to
it makes sense.
update it. Or
yeah, there are things, for instance, when we went over it the first time, or when the commission went over it the first time, there were several things that they wanted changed, some of which the ORC did not agree with us. And what happened was that somehow it fell through a crack. It wasn't followed up on. So I'll send you the proposed changes that we've got. You can look through whatever section and see what you think needs changing. You may come up with nothing needs changing.
well, there's 8 sections, 4 of us, 2 sections each.
Basically, yeah. So, section 1 and 2 is mostly
Is definitions and
definitions.
HPC. 4 is qualifications, establishments. 5 is COA. 6 administrative procedures. 7 standards of evaluation, maintenance, and then something I can't read. Conflicts, amendments, and violations is 8, and severability is 9. I'll take 8 and 9. I'm a stickler.
Okay.
I don't really have a preference.
Or do I, whatever you want to do, Susan, is fine by me.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Okay. Why don't I give you 1 and 2?
Sure, that's fine. What's that, definitions?
Uh-huh.
That's fine.
And it's also the preamble.
Okay.
See if you think that.
Sure.
I mean, one of the things that has been in here and did not get taken out, but one of the things we should consider is whether we want to keep the planning office in here, since we only have a part-time planner. And I don't think, from what I'm gathering, that a part-time planner is going to want to pay a whole lot of attention to us.
Understood.
Should we
So-
focus more on the code enforcement?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We
Yeah.
should, you know, just,
Put the planner to the wayside, if we get one.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Pick your favorite, Susan, and just give me what's left over. Doesn't, you probably have.
I'll give you
sections.
3 and 4,
Okay.
and I'll take 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I will get these to you within the week.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. You don't even have this yet, do you?
Somewhere.
It's okay.
Probably ought to have a revised one. If it was revised. I think I've got an older copy.
Do you want a hard
No,
copy?
it hasn't-
You want me to
it has
just email
not.
you the section?
No, I've got it right here for you. Thank you. It has not been revised at all.
Well,
Um,
I've got to get another copy. That's it right now.
Mhm. And I'll send you the updated pieces. Pam,
Me?
very cute. Sections 8 and 9.
Why?
Section 9 is severability, 1 sentence. Has
That's
to
it?
be
Oh my,
there.
I had no idea. I
Nice try.
Smart.
had no idea. All right.
Like,
So
what is
7?
it?
And
Yes,
8?
yes.
Seven.
I had no idea.
No, of course not, dear. Of course not. We know.
Okay, so you're just 5.
All right, so, and I will tick into 9, so, and I'm doing 10.7. Actually, that works out well because I forgot to add 1, so that, okay.
All right, so we've got Phil's 1 and 2, I'm 3 and 4, Susan is 5 and 6, Pam 7 and 8.
Right.
And all of 9 burning the midnight oil or not.
Okay,
Okay, good.
okay.
And when do we want to get these in by?
I'm saying, I haven't gotten hold of Carl yet. I would like to get them in for the August meeting of the ORC.
August. Oh. Can you see when that is?
Ordinance Review Committee is yellow,
Yep,
12, Monday the 12th or the 26th.
well, let's do the 26th.
Okay, August
I think
26th.
that should give us enough time.
Okay.
And I'll get us put on the
Yeah.
agenda.
Okay, good. So then we can start following things tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, the next one is the approved materials list. I have been doing some research on roofs, among other things. There is a company, and I haven't gotten back to them, or they haven't gotten back to me about where these are available in Maine. They make a shingle roofing or slate roofing product out of recycled automobile tires. Talk about green. They are looking at 75 as a minimum length, what I'm reading, that they last. So about 3 times, 2 or 3 times. They also do slate panels, that look like slate rather than actual slate. There are various places that have metal roofing that is made like asphalt shingles, made in panels of shingles. Ditto slate.
Yeah.
They also have stamped metal roofing. It's a little more expensive, but not that much more from what I've been able to find. And I think this makes a much better alternative to the pleated roof thing, which is still very industrial to me. The other thing is vinyl. I would like to propose maybe that vinyl, except when replacing present vinyl, not be accepted as a, because there are other things out there that are same price range, but look a lot better. And vinyl, when it starts breaking down, is really disgusting.
Do we, is the approved materials list or the accepted materials list or recommended materials list, whatever we're going to say, does it have to be accepted by the select board? What's the process
I don't
of
think
having
so.
it? And do we want to take a look at, say, Portland's Preservation Commission's materials list and other?
We have an incredible amount of that kind of stuff, yes.
Okay.
If you would like, Portsmouth, New Hampshire
Mm-hmm.
has a very extensive one. The Secretary of the Interior's standards for treatment of historic preservation,
Uh-huh.
of historic properties, is extensive and very detailed.
I started to read that and I thought it was not as simple and clear cut as I think people would want to, like, they just want to know.
I'm
yes or
not
no.
saying adopt this
Yeah,
off the, I think I would much rather have us start a flexible list
yeah.
that we can add to and,
Yeah, I think it's more like, kind of like a case by case situation, really, because of the.
I mean, I think that for us,
no.
I think that
it's got to be for everybody.
it's gotta be
Oh, yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that, I don't know.
Like, I think the big ones are roofing, siding, windows,
Yeah,
Fences.
fences.
fences. Those are the big,
Mm-hmm.
because that's basically what we're dealing with. Yeah,
And a policy about each of those, you know, like, if you're replacing like with like, it's not even, it's not.
It's a no-brainer.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But if you're replacing windows, what's the policy on
How far back you go.
internal grids, external grids, vinyl, composite, wood?
glass. I replaced mine with wavy glass, because it had wavy glass.
Mhm.
So that glass, yeah.
But glass is, I mean, that's wavy glass is expensive.
Well, I think that is, although I admire you for doing it,
Yeah.
hell to keep clean, isn't it?
It's a window I never opened, so.
I think that wavy glass is getting a little specific, and judging from my own house, I would love to have insulated glass. I won't because all of the glass is original,
Yeah,
but I think that's asking a lot.
I mean, it's, if you're gonna get a vinyl window, for scenario cases, you're not gonna get wavy glass in that, you know?
Right. Hopefully not getting vinyl windows either.
Yeah, that took, but, yeah.
Well, do we each want to take a stab at bringing in a drafted, our own drafts of materials, accepted materials list? Or does one person want to take that project on and bring a draft in for us to review?
It would be good if we each took something. I mean, as you say, these are the four basic,
Yeah. Roofing, fencing,
Yes.
siding, windows.
yeah.
I can't think of anything else that might come into.
But it would be nice to have, for people who come in, or for people who are asking, or people who are asking Bruce, it would be nice to give them some alternatives that are available.
I agree.
It's
Yeah.
no good just saying, we don't like this, or we don't think this is appropriate. You know,
Right. Like
so,
when we dealt with the windows on Main Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hey, listen, there are other things that you can do. Oh, we didn't know. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And we could have some nice articles on the Facebook page linked into Maine Preservation, because they have
Mhm.
some really cool articles about
Yeah, we're
historic
gonna just
brick.
focus on something about the windows.
Yeah, they have a window article. on
And
it.
I am trying to get this guy that I saw who was just down in Florida. He was doing something about restoring windows, and I'm like, please come to me, we need to talk to you, because our windows are so important here. So,
the Customs House, new owner of the Customs House, is having all of his windows redone, remade,
Wow. Good.
in kind.
It's gonna be beautiful.
A little at a time, to be sure.
Yeah.
And I understand that he's also going to be wanting to replace the original columns in stone
Mm.
Mm.
and a fence.
Oh, that fence. fence?
remake the
Oh, I love
fence.
the fence.
Oh, what's he gonna do with the other fence?
I mean, that beautiful old.
Is he just gonna
No,
push it
she's
up?
going to remake it, redo it,
Oh.
refurbish it.
Oh,
Clean it
my
up,
Oh, thank
clean it,
God,
whatever.
yes,
They do a
yeah.
beautiful
It just
job
needs
in that house.
little.
I mean, so that's,
Yeah,
That house is amazing on the inside.
she's done such a good job, yeah.
Okay, so should we each
Okay.
pick one of these?
okay, who wants roofing?
I'll take roofing. I don't
I'll take
like it,
windows.
but I'll take it.
Siding, fences?
None of the above.
Do you wanna take windows?
No. I don't take any of them.
Okay.
I don't know any of that, anything about any of that.
But this is an educational
Yeah, we're all doing
process.
We don't know
my
either.
love. Neither do we. Okay,
I could do fencing instead if you want windows.
I don't know. Windows, I guess. I really don't.
It's
No,
just a rough
siding is
draft.
easier.
It's just a rough draft.
Well, sidings, I'll take the siding then.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, Tony Bickford, he put the vinyl shakes on the Village Bistro, which I think really looked nice.
mm-hmm. But it's not the entire side of the building in one huge vinyl clapboard thing. Is what we're trying to get away from. Also, I think he replaced, I think it was vinyl to begin with, wasn't it?
That
I
was
can't remember.
texture one. right?
Yeah, that was fine.
But I mean, you know, the vinyl shakes are, well,
Well, again, look into vinyl shakes, see what's available, where it's available, how much it costs, that kind of thing.
I mean, they're going more to vinyl because nobody can afford cedar anymore. I mean, I'd love to do cedar shakes, but it's hard to get the cedar.
Right, but there are other things besides vinyl.
But,
There are metal shakes,
The other
there are
shakes,
composite shakes.
the,
Paperboard.
Those people on Hodge just did those shakes, those cedar shakes on Hodge
You
Street.
did?
Oh my God,
Sounds
it's
pretty.
beautiful, beautiful shapes and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks great.
What house on Hodge Street?
It's the one that just sold, I don't know, it's like all shakes on it, yeah.
Okay,
It's,
we'll check
it's
it.
before you get to Evergreen, if you're heading
Oh,
towards,
okay.
Hoover. Yeah, real looks nice.
Good, good for them.
She's the
Nice.
one who emailed us, maybe a month or so ago, about something. Yeah.
Okay, so
Right,
that
if
takes care of that.
It does.
Discussion of the bicentennial.
So am I doing windows or are you doing
Yes.
windows? Who's doing windows?
You're doing windows,
I'm doing
I'm doing
windows.
fences.
You're doing
Okay,
fences,
so
okay.
Pam's doing windows. Susan's doing fence. Bicentennial. Fun stuff. We just had a meeting last night.
Ah,
And the committee is getting bigger. A lot of people showed up last night from all over
Mhm.
Lincoln County. So if you guys are interested in joining or coming to the next one, I'll send you the dates. I think it's going to be August 7th at 6 p.m. is the next bicentennial meeting. So lots of really good ideas, an amazing group of really creative people. Should be a lot of fun. So what we can do as the Wiscasset Historic Preservation Commission is pick a few things that we want to work on in conjunction with the larger, I think, the larger group. One of the things that I had talked about with Jim and maybe with you, Pam, this idea of getting every town in Lincoln County to provide a heritage apple tree, one that would have been found in Maine in the 1800s. And Morris Farm would be happy to have them planted there. Each tree would have its own town plaque when the town was founded. And then Morris Farm could use those trees to host classes on tree pruning and cider making and grafting and blah blah blah. So that was just one idea. one idea of many. The other thing that had been talked about is the idea of having an overall theme of the bicentennial for Lincoln County would be called Making a Living. And we try to set up a series of events like on a trail that would take people to a bunch of different towns. And the events or the demonstrations would be about either past careers or current ones. And, you know, it could be anything from farming or fishing or shipbuilding or
Hat making, shoe.
exactly, yeah. So that was something that is being talked about, and one of the guys that's there, I guess, is a producer for Lincoln County TV, and they want to start doing something called Lincoln County Minutes, about, like, a minute about something that's going to be happening, or bicentennial related events, or information. And Lincoln County News wants to start publishing like a series of articles about the bicentennial, maybe what people were thinking before they actually had the vote on the bicentennial. Like, because it wasn't a slam dunk. There were a lot of people that didn't want Maine to become a state. So there could be old letters from the time, or old articles pro and con becoming a state. So anyway, there's going to be articles in the Lincoln County News, Lincoln TV Minutes, Making a Living, what else? Somebody else mentioned the idea of getting the kids involved by having them do time capsules, which would be really cute, because the 5th graders are all, I think Maine history is 5th grade, so the 5th graders could do a time capsule, maybe. Be really adorable. And then also apparently there's going to be tall ships in Portland, and some of these ships are asking about the idea of hosting, like if we could host a tall ship for a period of time here, even if it's just a weekend.
That would be great.
Be nice to get the boat.
Get the what? The
We
boat?
had that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we can do it again.
So I
That'd be
think
nice.
if we want to do something, that it's ours for the doing. We just have to figure out what we want to do and get other folks in town that might want to pitch in and help. There's not a lot of money. I think Lincoln County Historic is going to try to apply for a grant, but there's really not a lot of money, so it's going to be, we'd have to be creative. But I bet there are folks in town, like Sarah's is really interested in getting involved in some bicentennial event. And I bet some of the other downtown businesses might be interested. We could try to get bicentennial flags to fly from the new light poles downtown once they're put up, if they're put up in time. We could fly flags. We could do downtown events. Castle Tucker maybe will want to do something, so what are you guys thinking? Like what would get you excited?
Trying to think of what was going on here
Well,
200 years ago.
Well, we had the vote, and it would be interesting to find out where the vote was held here in town for the, you know, to decide on whether Maine's going to become a state or not. And we could have Phil could write an article and we could put it on the Facebook page, or get Wiscasset News to, yeah, I just volunteered you. How do you like that?
It's fine.
Well, you know, what if since we're the
I
Historic
go back
Preservation
ways, but I
Commission,
don't go back that far, 200 years.
what if we were to highlight the houses that are still here that were there at the same time? Like maybe, like, honor them
Yeah.
somehow.
Have a little article about each one on the Facebook page?
Yeah. Like, you know, like a little, like, build up of, I'd have to find out. So it would be, help me with math.
What about featuring something, like, I would love to feature the Powder House.
I would love
somehow,
to feature the Power
because
House.
that is just such a terrific
That's
thing,
what I'm
and nobody
saying.
knows about it. Nobody
I don't know, but I've never
goes
been
there. Nobody.
It's right there.
Really?
It's right there.
It's
It's
just
really cute, yeah.
sweet, which,
Yeah, I
okay,
would love to do
I'll
something.
get to your,
It would be nice to open it up occasionally.
yeah,
Yes,
You could open it
absolutely.
up for your little celebration and people can tour
Yeah,
it.
that could be part of the trail, I mean,
Yeah.
what?
You could do that, you could do your old academy, and yeah, maybe some of the folks that might open their homes.
mm-hmm.
Mm.
We just did one in Burlington, Vermont. It was
Yeah.
very interesting.
Really?
It wasn't free either, you had to pay.
Yeah, did you do the home
Interesting.
tour? Yeah,
Yeah.
you like, you pay and you sign, you like give your license plate number, your license number so that anything happens, we can track everybody down.
Yeah, I think it was $20.
Yeah.
It wasn't real expensive, and then you toured a dozen properties. But you could do
It's
something
like our
similar.
old open house days.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
you
no,
could do something similar.
Open house
Do you
days.
think that?
I was gonna suggest, something like, the Wiscasset Open House Days, Susan just alluded to that, which was big in its day,
Mm-hmm.
real big. And, I've got pictures at home of my grandmother, my great-grandparents, and when they'd open up the homes, and my mother as well, there were certain houses that they liked to be at, and it was all period costume that people dressed in.
Oh, that's
That was a
nice.
big deal. That was a real big deal in its day.
And wasn't there a picnic? Because I have a couple of.
They had luncheons and
tours.
stuff like that.
Yeah, like on the common or something, there was something.
I don't
maybe-
know. Do you remember any of them, Susan? Because I was alive, but it was just, and
Yeah.
probably I was just a kid. when
You
they stopped
were
doing it.
real young when
Yeah,
it stopped.
probably
I got a
five.
little booklet, the little handout booklet that they had on open house days at home.
You have a
Yeah,
book?
we had a
I
lot
do.
of them.
Yeah.
There were a lot of them.
And I've got all posters,
Yeah.
of the,
I'd love to
of the
see those.
thing, and that was an interesting time. I would have liked to have done that myself, to be able to go through all these homes.
Yeah. It'd be
My
fun.
mother loved it.
What happened on that, just FYI, was that, first of all, it was an awful lot of work for
It
anybody
was
who
done
owned
by
the
the
house.
Wiscasset Village Improvement Society, right?
Mm.
Wiscasset,
What was it?
Wiscasset Village Improvement Society. The same people
That
who
sounds-
donated
right.
the stone on the common over there. If you look at the bottom, it says donated by
Yeah.
Wiscasset Village Improvement Society. And I know Priscilla Campbell, for example, was
Right.
big into that, and
And
I don't know when
everyone,
that disbanded.
and it, oh Lord, it even included a house in Head Tide.
Really?
Remember that, when the Sorkels owned that lovely little house in Head Tide, and for some reason they opened that up.
Wow.
I mean, this really is dating me. This really is dating me. This
We
would have
don't know, it's
been
okay.
in 1957.
Just go with that.
Yeah, 57, because I was a docent there.
Oh my gosh.
And,
I know that the costumes that they used to have, when I lived on Federal Street, across the street in the Saltwell barn, the upstairs was literally full of old period
costumes,
Wow.
outfits. And I got pictures of my grandmother in these things, and my mother and others, and it was pretty cool.
I'd love to see that.
yeah, it really was. I wonder if we would have time to pull that together for that.
It's a lot of work.
It's a year-long celebration.
Yeah, it's true. We have a year. People
Yeah.
are a little bit more uncomfortable
Okay,
about opening
that-
their houses now.
So
That
those
is
who
the
would
thing.
be willing
That-
to, and it doesn't have to be like the whole house, you could just be like,
Yeah, but that's where
Here,
the
there.
important things are, is
take those things up, put them upstairs.
move all the furniture upstairs.
Well, not the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
But they've
that
seen
is one
places
thing
where
that
they
happened.
roped off things
Yeah,
as well.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the problems was that things were getting not as innocent as they were.
Things were what?
Getting not as innocent as they were.
Sure.
Casey
And
Jones.
I can't remember now, one house did have things missing. And that
That's
was
why
sort of the end of it.
Anybody who comes in has like they have like a ticket or a bracelet or something that you have to be entered with, and anybody who does come has to, you know, this is your, you know, your driver's license number, your address.
Yeah, that-
all that stuff, so that if anything goes missing, you can refer back to that, so they've got you, before anybody starts thinking about that.
Well, I mean, that's a big, that would be a big project, but it'd be really nice.
Do we have to get approval for that?
And remember, this was done every year.
Yeah.
Year after year after year after year after year, every single
Wow.
year.
Yeah.
So nice.
Well, Westport has done it lately with garden tours that have been very,
I love the garden.
I love the garden tours too, and that's not quite so scary. People don't have to open up their houses, they're just people who
Yeah.
love their
Mhm.
gardens. So maybe we could do a Wiscasset garden tour instead.
That would have to be like around now, or July. Or, you know, and sometime between.
oh, have it in December.
Our beautiful white gardens.
I'll remember those words, Steve, if we decide to do this.
What's that?
I'll remember your words if we decide to do this. They're on my list.
Do you know what happened to the costumes? Would they still be up there?
No,
No, they're long, I would assume they must be long gone, because I covered up that barn, but. too
Some
many
of them are
years
at LCHA.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, and probably some of them are at Castle Tucker
Mm.
yeah.
or the Sokol House. I'm sure they're,
Well, I can say, in the house that I lived in, on the third floor, it was just chock block full of old, everything from doilies to outfits to all that, and as everybody got older and moved on, I wish I could go back in time because I'd have taken every damn thing that was up there, but I didn't, and I wasn't old enough, and a lot of that stuff probably went, sad as it is, to the landfill.
yep.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, I guess the point is, if you have any ideas, I mean, this is, whoever in Wisconsin wants to work on something bicentennial for the town, it's open for all of us, and so if you guys have any ideas, please, we'll have to get something figured out pretty soon.
Maybe we can put something on the Wiscasset.org Facebook page, or have the newspaper say that we're looking for people for bicentennial days, contact us,
Yeah.
or something like that, so that we get the word out widespread. You know, shoot out a couple, you know, get like a little tiny thing together, shoot out a couple ideas, what are people willing to do?
You know what you could do, and I always like this idea. Years ago, the select board they wouldn't just meet in this room. They used to go to different places to meet. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yep,
Just to get somebody like in the
way back.
Huntington Range, have a
Yeah.
meeting there instead of having it. Because there's people in this town, they lived here all their lives, and they've never been in that building.
And they pass it every day?
And you could have one down the academy, and there's a lot of
That's a
places
nice idea.
in town that you could do. You could have it in the Scout Hall.
You never use a Sonic Lodge.
Or the Masonic Lodge, that would be a good place, which used to be a school, by the way.
And a bank.
So, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
It was a bank.
Or this group could meet in one of those buildings.
Good.
Kind of fun, going,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just in some of these other different buildings.
Huh. Sort of a neat idea.
I like it.
Wouldn't cost anything.
But we wouldn't have the YouTube. We wouldn't be able to, if we met in different buildings, we wouldn't be able to broadcast.
We could just do a live Facebook feed.
There you go.
There you,
It's true. All right.
there's technical people.
There's just a way around.
Live Facebook feed.
There's a
Boom.
will, there's a way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called Pam.
There's no reason why you couldn't have.
Tiny house tips.
That one there got caught a couple of years ago.
That'd be kind of neat.
Would be, if you want one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
good idea.
Or in one of the churches.
Mm.
this and come up with some specifics for our next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Phil, when he agreed to come on the board, immediately sent me,
You asked for suggestions.
yes, I did. These weren't what I was meaning, but never mind.
That's okay.
The
I
first one.
misinterpreted.
That's all right. The walkway leading to the 1813 Powder House needs some minor repairs. Should we go to the selectmen and say that perhaps we could have some volunteers who would repair it and,
I'd be willing to volunteer. I can't do it myself, I cleared what I could.
Right.
I think I had Steve and I went there one day, didn't we? Or was that Benny?
Is it
Benny
just,
Ryan?
it's just the walkway, there's just the stones and stuff that needs to be cleared?
During the October storm, which was actually October
17, not 18,
18,
17.
17, a tree came down and knocked over the abutting stone wall.
I'm not a spokesman for the town by any means tonight, by any means, but that's been fixed up there.
That's all clear all the way up?
That's cleared off.
Yeah, I thought that there was
I'm gonna check
I think that
next
you
time
said
I
that-
walk the dog.
We'll check tonight on your way home.
Yeah, that was like a
Okay.
couple months ago, right?
No, we just did that.
Yeah.
okay, so that's wonderful.
So
See,
one of the
look,
things,
it's already off the list.
one of the things, if I may, when I read your agenda, I read your comments, that's why I'm here, and I'm thinking, what does, and don't take this, I'm not trying to be surly on this, but what does those comments have to do with historic preservation? It's nothing that's on the agenda, it's just like a, gripe list, for lack of better words. I mean, what are you guys, again, not to argue, what are you guys going to do other than, Phil's said this, are you gonna go around town now and start looking at things and say, oh, by the way, the White Island footbridges need to be replaced? I mean, you could write a laundry list of stuff, and I'm just curious of, what is it that you, as a historic preservation, going to do with Phil's comments? I think this is the wrong agenda forum for this. I mean, if you got the concerns, it's a selectman thing versus a you guys thing. I understand where you're coming from, Phil. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see what the historic preservation this commission's got to do with those comments, that you've made. Because some of the things that you're talking in there, I've looked at, and I'm just, again, this is just me speaking for me as a citizen, that some of them are minor, with the exception of the fence probably, like the stuff, the painting at the art gallery and all that, that's nothing that you guys would be involved with anyway, as far as historic preservation. It's a routine maintenance, the way I read it in the ordinance. So I'm just curious of the whys. I'm not saying that you're wrong, because you're not, but I'm just curious of what, as a historic preservation, what you can do or will do, or
I think this is Phil's first night.
Sure.
But I think this is an interesting, the points are interesting because there is grant money out there from the state that it would be really interesting if we could try to figure out a way to apply for grant money to help restore public properties, or historic properties or public places that we feel are are important to the town. So that's how I read Phil's comments, like, gee, let's see if we can figure out a way to start applying for grants through the state.
No, I'm not, I just, that was just my, when I read that, I'm thinking, well,
Yeah.
what the heck does this have to do with this? And I understand, but,
Well,
let me just jump to the powder house real quickly. When we talk about the steps going up to the powder house, I don't know if any of you have been up those steps before. They're not easy at best. I mean, that was my playground as a kid, so I know all about that whole place. And those steps, even to go up there to view it, as you know, once you get to that top tier, because you're walking up on ledge. And I think the Masonic Lodge might have put those steps in at one time, I don't know, but they're dangerous to get up there. I mean, we got an issue of getting the access up to there to see that. It's a neat building. It's it's the only round one in the state, I believe. Isn't it, Phil? The only round powder
That's the only, there's
Yeah.
only 3 left in the
Yeah.
state.
Yeah,
The other 2 are
One's in Hollowell, isn't it?
correct. They're square.
Yeah, that's the only round one.
Can we do anything with the curbing, the granite curbing that's being torn up to use for news steps for the powder ski?
I
Can't
don't
do
know.
anything
I
with
don't
that.
know. I looked at that curbing, I mean, it's,
It's good
it's
stuff.
nice stuff.
Really nice.
I don't know, I don't know the answer to that.
They're just leaving it there for people to take.
No, it's all coming up to all that curbing is going up to the town garage. It's gonna be stockpiled up there.
Really? Somebody told me that, Pete told them to go help themselves. and they were
No,
trying to load it
no,
in their
that's not,
truck.
from what I understand, it's going to the town garage, and it's gonna be
I hope so.
stockpiled there.
Good, I hope that's true.
For what, for how long? I don't know. We've got there's places in town where there's so much curbing around, it'd
That's a
scare
good
you.
idea. I mean, like, if
Boy,
it's
I
gonna
could use
just
some
be.
on High Street.
Hmm?
There are 2 places on High Street that should have that curbing.
Yeah,
you know,
because
one
all
is in
high
front of
street
my house
curbing
and-
goes like this. It's like.
Well, yeah, and then it stops at my house.
And then it stops, yeah.
What's that all about? I know what that's about. That was my mother. Come to think of it, but still, there's someplace else I noticed. If we could get hold of that, that would be a neat thing.
I'm glad they're saying it.
I don't know why, that's something that you should go to the selectmen or the
Yeah,
town
it's like
manager or
you're
something,
diverting.
say, because I don't know what's gonna happen to it.
Yeah, that's like, it's like
Oh,
5 feet.
Some of it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
It's gotta be that, because it goes this way. I'd say it's probably this tall. It's
Yeah,
It's
beefy.
on some places, yeah,
Beefy
it's just,
stuff.
it's used as like a retaining wall, keeping it back and.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gotta be
Steve,
on
to
the-
your point,
Yes, so.
Sorry, Phil.
I think you're absolutely correct. But if you follow that same line of reasoning, why were we talking about the bicentennial? I mean, that's not relevant either to the ordinances. And yet we all felt it was important. I thought it was important, and I think we had some pretty good ideas too.
I
So,
think it's just, yeah, go ahead.
well, my point is, these are assets of the town. The Powder House, the Academy Building, the ancient cemetery, and the clock tower. I mean, what's the first thing you see when you cross the bridge? I mean, you see the
Yeah.
clock, which is our tallest building downtown too, by the way. So if we don't discuss this and take these things on, my question would be, then who will?
But what is it that you do? I mean, I think
Well,
the best
again,
thing
we
to do.
can try to get grants.
We could do that, or
We can, as
Yeah.
a historical preservation commission, we can apply for grants if the town will let us. We have to get permission from them to see what's out there. But if we could get a grant and it wouldn't cost the town anything to do these repairs,
Oh,
We're now aware of-
Me on that, I agree with you.
Well, who said earlier, I can't remember, I apologize, maybe it was Leslie or maybe it was Pam, but somebody said they didn't even know where the Powder House
That
was.
was me.
And I can remember interviewing Benny Rhymes not too long ago, and Benny saying, Benny Rhymes Jr., that's one of the best places in town to visit, and so many people don't even know it's there.
Well, if you remember correctly, just a few years ago, the Powder House, you couldn't even see it because it was all
That's
tall
true.
saplings, and myself and some other people went up there, and we literally cleared it all out, and we've been clearing it ever since. Even, we clear it out, and it looks a lot better, and you can see it now.
But how many people in town even know that we have a former governor buried in town?
I know.
Who, by the way,
I was related to Susan.
who
right?
learned his ABCs at Wiscasset Academy, which is, again, very interesting.
How many people in town know that one of George Washington's bodyguard is buried in the ancient
In the
cemetery?
ancient cemetery. And the last headmaster of the Academy building who actually became one of the Reconstruction senators down in, was it South Carolina, I believe, was in Ford's Theater the night that Lincoln was assassinated.
These are all really good things that should be on the Lincoln County Minutes thing, the television thing.
Yep.
I just think these are the kind of things you could do if you did a tour, you know,
Yes.
like a walking tour.
Yeah.
Down and explain
You know-
some of these things.
Why couldn't some of this, and this would increase our audience, I think, this Wiscasset Art Walk?
Oh, have like a little booth? You mean a
Little HPC booth, like what do you want to know
Well,
about?
an HPC booth, but also get it included, get the Powder House included, get the information included about people of note in the
have like a table
ancient
set up and send
cemetery and like that.
flyers?
Well, we have the,
Have Phil's books for sale.
Yeah.
I might even be willing to donate some of the proceeds.
We have a raffle.
I would have all your books.
Which reminds me, I gotta get a copy of
The-
your second one, because
the
mine's disappeared.
Museum in the Streets includes the Powder House, so there's that,
Oh, it does?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm fairly.
There's no plaque for
There's
this.
no,
No,
no.
and there's nothing
No?
on the
No,
main.
no.
What am I thinking?
And
Oh,
it's
you know what I'm
also
thinking
outside
of?
the historic district.
Oh, we need to fix that.
I mean, it's just on the perimeter, which I
What?
can
We need to fix
understand
what?
why.
We need to make sure that it becomes, not, we can get it, make sure it's designated on the National Register.
I think it is.
What
It is
the-
already.
The Powder House, yeah.
But it's not in the village historic district, it's just on the perimeter
It's
of
on the outside, it's not in, it's
it.
not.
One side of Churchill Street is, and the other
Yeah.
side is
It's only a
not.
20-foot square, that's,
Which I find
Town owns.
extraordinary, that it's not on there.
Here we go.
Seems like it ought to be.
I didn't draw it.
I don't know, they got, you know, I was just thinking, you know how many mobile homes there are in this historic district?
Ah, there he goes.
Yeah. Historic mobile homes.
I don't know, it just didn't come.
anyway, I don't wanna hold you up, that's just what I wanted to just,
Well,
I
Thank
don't
you,
want to hold you
that's-
up, and thanks, you
But
should,
this
you
is-
should have brought that to our attention in the first place, that's okay.
Yeah, we didn't have to.
And you were sitting through all of our.
when I,
it's a crappy night, so.
when Susan
You didn't want to
Susan
step out in the rain.
initially emailed for comment, I misinterpreted that, and I put.
I figured, and I thought that's, that was my thought there. I said, I don't think that's really what they were looking for, but that's creative.
No, but you know, if
Phil and I talk all the time about old stuff anyway, so.
it did get if the walkway is clear.
I don't want
that
you
makes me
to
happy,
gossiping about me.
you know?
I was going to say that.
And we were very fortunate that we did have some repairs made to the clock tower a year ago, which really didn't
But
cost.
it needs
Wow.
to be painted, and the little piece
Yeah,
needs
it
to go
does.
back
It needs to
on.
be.
And for anything, fix the chime.
I thought
It's not like
did we raise
8:30.
money to do that?
What?
We raised money to do those repairs, and it was never spent. Am I right about that?
We allowed $4,000. The town, we voted $4,000 in last year for repairs to the clock. What happened with that, I don't know. I don't know if that was what,
Jason.
what's his name did?
Jason.
Jason, I don't know if that's work that Jason did,
I
but
don't think so.
what's on the
Well, somebody
inside?
had to pay for the,
Yeah,
They had to buy the lumber. and
The lumber.
supplies.
But-
I don't know how
but-
much it was.
but the.
Okay, let's
Everything
find
on
out.
the inside gets from the outside, so fix the outside before the inside, you know?
We'd like to
That's
see
just
it fixed.
me.
okay, find out, clock.
Yeah, because that little piece is somewhere, that little piece that came off in the.
It's in the building because
Joe Calhoun.
Joe Calhoun saved it when it
Right,
fell off.
yeah,
Who's, I believe he's still the,
he's still
Yeah.
the chime.
Yeah. I have the contract for that clock at home.
When are they gonna fix it so the chime actually rings on the hour?
Yeah.
Instead of.
I mentioned something to Kathy yesterday when I saw her on the pier, because I
Oh.
said, can somebody get a hold of Joe Cahoon and fix the chime?
Oh, how did the launch go?
Went very well.
Which has nothing to
gosh,
do
it
with
was
anything.
amazing.
oh, the ship, yeah. Would've been nice to
Oh.
keep that there, don't you think?
Yeah.
I was so sad to see it go. But it was beautiful.
It's pretty cool
Okay.
across the bridge and see that ship there.
Sure was.
There you go, there's the ship. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Taking
Oh, yeah,
off.
taking off.
Sorry. Getting ready. In there. Do-do-do. Getting the anchor in, and then,
Oh, she
ta-da!
does.
There she is.
And they went off on a flood tide, which kind of surprised
There
me.
we go.
Yeah, I thought
And
they
it
were
just
going
floated
away.
downstream. They did
Or
the
they-
three sails.
Yeah,
Tide
for
turn.
tide to go
No,
out.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that,
Oh,
but they went out.
I'm glad it didn't swing the other way and go up and hit that mast of that sunken ship that's still sitting there. That's another topic.
That's what we were
Yeah.
joking about, we're saying.
That's
it's
my view.
funny.
Is
I
that
sit on the
in the
deck of the
historic
boat, still there.
I see it every morning when I look outside.
I made a statement at one of the selectmen's meetings last fall, and I said, I can guarantee you a year from now that that's still gonna be sitting there.
Oh, yeah, we all went,
Whatever happened, I mean,
I thought he was supposed to get fined or
I
whatever.
just got fined for littering, I don't know what the heck that amounted to. But anyway, I'm taking up your time, you got stuff to do, so.
No, we're just.
No, you can even sit right back down if you want to join us. Still
You
morning.
can even join us as a member. of
Could
the
use
No
it.
community.
thanks, thank you, but no thanks.
I did ask that individual and
No,
nothing
okay.
happened.
Okay, well, think of people, we still are down 3 members. So if you
Should
think
be
anybody would
opportunity.
be
Pass anybody by.
interested, let us know.
seriously, Steve, you'd be really good. It'd be good to have your history.
It'd be fun, actually.
It would actually be fun.
Yeah.
Think about it, you know, you're here.
Yeah.
We are gonna, the water district is doing something for bicentennial, but I don't know what it's gonna be.
The what, the water district?
Yeah.
I would love to get a boot.
I'll tell you, back in 1960, when they had the Lincoln County thing, that big to-do there, I think it was 1960, had to have been 60. They, all the towns in Lincoln County, I mean, that was a big thing, and I still remember, I remember that, I was like 5 years old. I remember that, there's a book over the library.
Yeah,
It's gonna
I've
be
seen that.
that thick, and it's absolutely well done.
It's got all the
Of all the floats, I mean, this is big,
That was huge.
This wasn't no funky floats, these were. And they had marching bands from the Navy base,
Oh,
they had, you know, it was big, I mean, huge.
Can we get the Naval Academy to come? Band,
Okay,
that'd be cool.
is there anything else? If not, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for.
Thank you for coming, Steve.
All right, have a good evening.
I'll make you right.
Yes.
Come anytime.
All right, thank you.
We can
I mean,
pick your brains.
to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Thank you.
Wait, kill the video too. What we could do is, especially when the, oh wait till Leslie gives me the go ahead.